Hey, folks, and welcome back. It's Lucid. I'm joined by Maryland,
Howdy, guys.
and we're back with the tournament finals. It's turn 24, and as such, it is the arrival of spring, the beginning of a new year.
Good way to put it.
Right, where I'm sure there will be peace and prosperity, and
For one nation.
right. Okay, we'll start with. I'll say last episode was a little weird. There's plenty of violence, but there wasn't. I don't know. We didn't have any super cool battles yet. Things seemed a little bit stagnant in the wars.
Well, I made that comment in the intermission that we've got one of the wars is still very dynamic. That's the Ctis Vanarus three-way kind of crazy.
Right.
But the other wars have shrunk down to just a containment and a cleaning up process.
Right.
So that leaves a lot of nations in a nice, happy situation of, okay, we could take time to pause, site search, infrastructure, plan our next moves.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what we may see this turn.
Right. So we'll start with, I guess, that hotspot with Jotunheim. A message has arrived from Jotunheim. Ugh. Was Ctis in such a hurry that he didn't want to get a free fort? Well,
that was kind of what I thought too.
Right. Oh, you were thinking he should have waited for the palisade to finish.
I
think that's what he means here.
I didn't. That is what I meant. I didn't say it, but it was a part of my thinking. I mean, you see that there's a fort going up. There's no defense for it. That if you can time it just right to grab at that moment it appears before a defense gets in there, you've saved yourself a lot of effort.
Right. That's a good point. That's a long setback on the Earth Gnomes. Didn't necessarily want to commit anything there, but those are pretty important. Dangerous God. Casually casting Banefire. Wailing Winds will make it difficult to deal with using conventional army.
Yes.
He's not on advance and cast, though, so I'll be trying to turn timer werewolf this turn. Okay, you and I were talking about that last turn.
Okay, well, he pulled one off against that humongous pile of PD for Vanarus, where his chill aura was of limited effect.
Yeah.
With chill aura against the Sobex, that's a totally different story.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if he stays way back, buffs 5 times, and then...
Well, the danger for him is not going to be, like, it is very easy to make them immune to normal troops. It's the mages, even the death guys getting put on advancing cast spells, doing decay and stuff, that can add up over time.
But he's saying he's not on advance and cast.
Right.
He's thinking he might be able to stay in the back line.
Right.
It's a kind of high risk move.
He's also saying that he's got an illusionist that's going to be coming out, so he'll start getting shock resistant gear.
That's going to make a significant difference.
Yeah. That's going to be good not only against Ctis, but it'll also be very good against Vannaroos. Both of them relying a fair bit either on like small air elementals or lightning bolt.
Right. There's something else that when you were reading that, it occurred to me, but it might come to me as we sort of look over things.
Oh boy.
Oh, he took it back already.
A lot of brown flags.
Oh, whoa.
Okay, I was actually starting to worry for Jotunheim.
So, body ethereal.
Oh, he's got a moss body fluffer.
And a body ethereal fluffer.
Oh, Wailing Winds coming out.
Okay, so this was enough to trigger that.
But Flesh Eater.
And anti-magic.
Ooh, and enlarge.
She enlarged him.
Ooh, that's a big deal.
He's going to be really hard to kill.
That is a really big deal.
Well, we happen to already see through the final, but the details will be interesting. But this is the same army. No change. No advance in cast yet. Huge piles of skeletons.
Which if you're Ctis, you're thinking, like, we'll just sort of skeleton them to death. And versus a normal Skratti, except for the fact that you might lose these Sobex, It's fine, because they will not be able to kill the skeletons as fast as you make them. And then the battle will time out, and because they're attacking you, the attacker runs first.
Right.
So he would run away, presumably.
There.
But
he might not be able to run away.
But he's berserk.
Oh, so that... Yeah, so
right.
He doesn't care about the Wailing Winds.
Right. And also is unlikely to run away. And he's got Boots of the Messenger, so which to get the Flesh Eater, you also need Construction 4. So this is like all Construction 4 gear.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that was pretty significant for him that he got his Construction
and
4.
He's got the Girdle of Might, also Construction 4. And this is going to mean he's Fatigue negative.
Yeah, absolutely. Better than.
Yeah.
Or Fatigue negative, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you said Fatigue neutral.
Right.
But he did not put up Breath of Winter. Or did he? I just don't see any chilling.
No, you're right. He didn't.
He might not have made it in time.
Right, because he will go berserk.
Yeah, he might have gotten berserk before he got that off.
Regen only 10%. Okay.
But look at some Sobex near him, just out of curiosity. What's their fatigue at?
Yeah,
106 already. You know, they're done.
Look at this. The melee encumbrance is 12. They only get to attack like 9 times. That's ridiculous. Cold-blooded in cold climate. Oh, actually don't know how this math works exactly, but...
Well, the trouble with cold-blooded is cold resistance doesn't help you.
Right.
It does against chill auras and those sorts of things, but it doesn't help you with the cold-blooded in cold climate problem. Yeah,
I'm just wondering how 4 plus 4 equals 12, but... it may be... This is a lower thing. Usually the cold-blooded in cold climate will be a higher number, so...
But, well, it was only cold 1 last turn. It might still only be 1. But the other thing to take into account is basic encumbrance doesn't include his gear. And he's got 4 encumbrance for the shield, so there's your 12 on the Sobek.
Oh, on the Sobek. Okay. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Your 12.
Yeah,
no, it does add up.
It does add up. It's these numbers, 3 plus 1 plus, yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, really fast. Skeletons. I'm amazed those Marsh Masters are still casting.
Well, yeah, they'll wake up every once in a while.
Yeah, they're probably intermittent.
Now, the silver lining here is because there's a constant stream of skeletons to fill up this front tile, he's never going to turn around and kill these guys in the back. Except, once they run. But there's probably actually not much that was lost by Ctis here.
No, they all got away. Except what he loses in retreat.
Right.
Because the commander's probably left before, which increases the losses. Because I've noticed that on the retreat, if they're still with your command, Birdsong Tower, that's the one that gives you graphs.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is a big deal. I don't know. So Ctis site searched it and found it. I don't know if Ctis gets it for that turn, like if it will flash this up for him.
I don't know.
Because this...
No, because you have to put a guy into it, I think.
No, you don't.
Oh, you don't?
You just control it.
Maybe he got 1 turn of graphs.
If he got 1 turn of graphs, you send this graph to everybody. You send them this. You send them this.
Yeah.
It's so much easier for people to organize when they see things, presented nice and neatly on a graph like this.
But I'll tell you, I pretty much guarantee you, Jotun's not going to leave it sitting with the token defense.
Well, I mean, that way, this is just... I would give this... I don't want... Like, it's got to do so much to pay for itself with Pelagia sitting here and Ctis sitting here. I would just try to get out of it. I don't want it that much. I mean, I would want to see what the graphs were, but...
Well, and an element here is that I was just thinking... sorry, my thoughts kind of dropped on me there, but... well, Ctis has to pull his armies back together and reload them and get prepped. But I was also thinking you don't want to use a PD dump against Wailing Winds. It does not help you.
That's true.
So he shouldn't PD dump there. I would think he should be aware of that. He needs high-value troops, preferably berserking troops, if he's going to try to defend it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Ctis does have the option to make shamans, and the shamans, like 4 masters with 2 slaves doing mind burn will.
That province is now neutral temperature.
Yeah, we'll light these guys up. So
it won't be so easy another time.
We'll see. I don't know how this is going to play out, to be honest. It's so hard. It's so complicated because you've got the Skratti, you've got turbo communions that could happen. You've got Pelagia who can jump in. The god of Ctis could even do Wrathful Skies potentially. There's just so many different things that could happen.
I think we can answer the burning question of why Pelagia bought those mercs. He was fording it.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
So they may never have been there to threaten that throne.
Right. Just to protect it. But
that answers the burning question that I've been asking the last 3 episodes is, why spend all that money on those mercs if you're not doing something with them?
I forget the troops he can get on land. Of coastal forts, he gets these guys, which are fine.
Mm-hmm. And
amphibious, short sword, and javelin. I mean, they're fine.
They're basic.
These guys are kind of cool with formation fighter. I don't know.
Well, I tried using them with Erythia, and it was not successful, but that doesn't mean you can't.
Right. Okay, so let's finish the Jotunheim stuff, because there's a lot happening. So he raids... This army was here, and they raided up northwards. This was the province that I was saying would be very hard for Vannaroos to defend, because he had an army on top of his cap.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's the one you felt couldn't bring a mage to.
Right.
And I agreed with you that it didn't seem there was any way to get one there in time.
And here Vannaroos is busting out of his cap, which had a Skratti on top of it, and he was going to summon more lesser air elementals, which I think is the solution. At least until they get elemental resistances on the Skratti.
That Skratti buggered off, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
And then this Skratti met up with some more mages. So the Skratti had no mage support here. It came south and joined up with some mages here, and this would have probably wiped this stack. Depending on... Let's see what gear he put on it. If it doesn't have shock resistance gear, it could still get killed by air elementals. Yeah, it would have still gotten killed by... Oh, no, it's got the copper plate.
Yeah, it's got a lot of shock. Okay, he has seriously upgraded his Skratti gear.
Yeah. And, one of the things that's the difference between, new players and pretty good players and very good players is how long it takes them to adapt. So, a new player may never adapt. A good player will usually... they'll adapt, but they'll make the mistake, or they'll get countered 1 or 2 times. And then the best players are going to anticipate it, and you don't even get to do it on them once.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we have here.
I have to confess that recently I've been suffering from the mid-level player failure to be too slow changing pace.
Yeah.
It's been notorious in a couple of my games where, I've been in decision paralysis and sticking with the same thing that was sort of working, not working great, instead of, shifting gears and just trying a very different strategy, making that jump.
Right.
And I think that can happen to anybody, even an experienced player, is you may get tired, or, you've lost your... It takes a lot of motivation to do every turn at top level play.
It does.
And sometimes I don't. Sometimes games are just... Yeah, okay, it's fun. I'm enjoying it, but
yeah.
But we're seeing that the Jotun player is who is Jotun?
It's Isitaris.
Oh, okay. So he is showing very good top level play steadily. He's just not given his opponents a chance to catch their breath. He got caught off guard by Ctis, but that was unexpected. That was a out of the blue attack.
Right. I still think there's some Diplo thing he has. This is a very weird diplomacy situation where there's 3 people fighting over the same land. Somebody has to figure this out, because it's not worth it for 3 people to keep fighting. Either, yeah, I don't see how this resolves itself easily. Like, Jotun doesn't have an army that I can see that's going to come over and make a quick war of Vannaroos. Like, one way it could go, Jotun quickly conquers Vannaroos and then conquers Ctis. But if he does that, everybody has to attack him or he's going to win.
Oh, yeah, of course. Now, if we look towards his southern border, any significant action? Nothing.
No.
Very quiet.
Very quiet.
And what about he had a couple more battles on his northern border.
I think we saw all these. This was this weird scout one, and then this was oh wait.
No.
Ooh.
What happened here?
There was only a scout, and he came out to do summon lesser air elemental. I don't know, summon imps.
Oh, he's got 4, but that's only 2 imps. That's just not enough. And a small element. Well, that was a cheap defense on the part of Jotunheim. 6 of those. And I think a lot of them are badly wounded, because the one guy was moving super slow.
But this is just so clever, because there was an army on top of here before, then last episode, there was a scout, and then this turn he moved a small little force back thinking there was only going to be a mage here.
Just a token force.
Just token force. Keeping this thing locked down from making mages, giving him 50 income.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty clever.
Half the 50. Oh, no. Oh, we're seeing, that's probably his share we're seeing.
Yeah, I think that's probably his share.
Yeah. We're seeing if we controlled it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's... So, and you were noticing those little stacks of 3 Gija.
Oh, yeah.
So, how many of those are still around? There's a single one there, none there, just some scouts. A single one. So, he's pulled them back.
Yeah, it looks like he maybe moved them up here to deal with potentially a conflict over here. Like, he might be doing... It kind of looks like he's getting ready to do, like, a huge communion play.
Could be. Because you had noticed those little groups of 3 Gija, which is a lot of Gija in all one place. They're not site searching if there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Although, depending on random crosspaths, I can see a certain situation where when you feel threatened that you could be submarine attacked at any point on those coasts, if you were going to send 1 Gija and risk it getting killed, maybe send 2.
Right.
If they had different crosspaths.
Yeah.
But that's kind of that's a specialty play. I usually prefer to, use my best site searcher, do a single site search, and then fill in the blanks with remote searching, typically. Not always, but...
Yeah.
Well, in my current game, I've got my first Angakocks for late age Atlantis were air randoms. So they've all run around and searched my lands. But I finally got an earth one. So do I stand around and wait to buy earth boots? Or do I move it to do a single one-path search manually over and over and over again? That's a tough decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends. Like, and maybe it's worth it in mountains, but not in other places. So.
Right. That was just a comment on what I'm kind of thinking that. Just quickly for Jotun, look at his gem income graph and see if it's going up.
Oh my God.
Yes. Okay. They were searching.
Yeah.
Well, no, because just getting that throne back is a lot of gems.
Well, he has to claim it to get the gems.
For those 2, so all he got was the single.
He found some stuff. I don't know where he did.
He's doing, even under threat of a double war, he's doing infrastructure development.
Yeah. Wait, do we remember him getting this? I don't exactly remember him taking that. We might have missed the turn that happened. Throne of Fortune?
I don't remember. What's his basic? He had misfortune. Yeah, I remember this about 3 turns back.
Okay.
Because we said he has misfortune, so that's a nice, even though it's not an amazing throne, it's still a nice throne for him.
Yeah. Maybe he got this. I'm trying to figure out where. Oh no, that's Xibalba. Yeah, I don't know where he's been site searching. I was trying to find it real quick, but probably a waste of time while we're streaming.
I see a nature site. Just a little south of you there. There's one there. Just one there.
Yeah, it could have been those. He got at least like 6 gem income this turn though. Like that is a lot.
Yeah, that was nice.
Okay, so Vannaroos. Not much to talk about. I don't think we have a message from them. But let's go ahead and go, because there's a big old battle on top of Bandar Log's capital.
So, did Bandar patrol? No.
Okay.
Just PD.
We'll see what Ulm was scripting. Ooh. Phoenix power.
Fire elementals, potentially.
Or flaming arrows.
Or, yeah, could be.
And his research is crazy. He's definitely could have that, because he's got Strength of Giants, which is enchantment 3. So it's just one more.
Yeah, and a good number of
yeah.
They hit hard. Range isn't very far, but they sure hit hard.
Ooh, that is a lot of dudes.
Well, Bandar is holding his walls, basically. Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know why if you have a big army, you don't patrol and take advantage of your PD. Maybe, like we were saying, the only options really are there's some timing he wanted, or he thinks he can defend better inside the fortress.
Yeah, those are significant choices. And we had one of the players comment on his defense. I think it was Naba, saying he thought he was better off to defend inside, even though he had that nice big chunk of PD.
Yeah, and I think that's about all we have for the Ulm player here. He got attacked by trolls.
Somebody we didn't talk about last turn at all was Naba, simply because it's basically just a giant Ashdod stack parked on his capital. And he had told us the turn prior to that.
Speaking of that, we got a message from Ashdod. So, Long Siege of Naba will surely raise my attrition. I expect to see some full-size elementals, but hopefully limited casters, expecting 3 or 4 Malika. All my neighbors taking thrones around me while I sit here. A bit frustrating. Yep, and that's that conflict. You go to war, get thrones.
Well, and if you remember, Naba did that really superb job of destroying Agartha by using exactly the full-size elementals he's talking about.
Did they? I don't think they had full-size for Agartha, did they? I know they did the magma bolts and they did some small ones.
He did.
He did?
Maybe. Was it only small ones? I thought I saw some big ones,
okay.
But maybe not.
I don't think so, but he might have. For research, I'm at Alt 2, Construction 2, Conjuration 3 next turn, then working to Enchantment 5, probably a pit stop at Alt 3. Ashdod has pretty good access to death magic, so that's probably the reason for Enchantment 5.
Okay.
I tried to get some site searching done, but was rather unlucky. For all the S2, F2 searching, no sites.
That is kind of shitty luck.
The Naba fort will be making sages next turn to round out my research and site searching.
Nice.
The swamp fort will be making shamans the following turn, pretty much every turn for forever. Definitely behind on research as would be expected.
Yeah, but he's sitting with 2 very valuable kinds of independent magi that are excellent for his diversity and communion slaves and so on. Yeah.
He was not kidding about being behind in research, though.
No, that's pretty bad. But
yeah, I mean, he hasn't caught up to Pythium yet.
He does have significant fire gem and fire magic though, so
right.
Lantern spam is viable.
Yeah.
And he's got Earth 2 guys, right?
Yeah. But
so he hammers
and it's gonna matter who his next war is, but like when you're like Ulm is going out of control in research and Ctis is pretty good. I don't know. Like if somebody's at 7 and you're at like 2 or 3, it's very hard to have a war. So we'll see.
It's a tough place to be in. It's a tough place to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see if it it can start coming up pretty quick.
But it's not uncommon with giant mage nations.
Right.
Their magic is just so stupid expensive.
Yeah.
But getting sages increases that tremendously because they're 100 gold. And 11 research, I think, each or something like that.
Yeah, I recall them being rather efficient. 155, but 13 research, pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, you can see them there. Sorry, I jumped to the monitor. Could you jump back there? Oh.
Yeah, they're fire 2, earth 2, or astral 2, and they get 13 RP, so pretty good.
Oh, I thought he meant independent sages.
Oh no, I think he means those guys.
His national sages.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are.
Yeah, bad. I mean, Ashdod has pretty okay research. So okay, where are we? Well, Ashdod.
Well, we
yeah, nothing happening with Ashdod except they've cracked the fort here on Naba. So.
Yeah, we were reading his message.
Right.
And that's where we were at.
Okay, so that message is done. Let's go ahead and go to end. I covered the Magog fort. Second fort to look out for with end is the forest. Couple of reasons. The Beastmen are good early commander recruits. Get basic fort without Templar Lab. Recruit 5 or 6 of these. They'll spawn lions for the rest of the game. I like to use lions as patrollers. Also, half are stealthy and can be decent raiders with scout in the command item. I haven't actually tried the scout command item with them, but
this is a little more complex than I thought.
The other, I think the main person you would want to use, I didn't really in my end game, I haven't really used them this way, but Magog bitch mothers are stealthy too, and you can stick some lions on with them, and like with this is now getting to be kind of pricey, but like a Magog bitch mother with lions and a like protection, lifelong protection, and spamming like wooden warriors and then skeletons. There, you get a ton of longevity out of that as a raiding force.
Okay.
And the lions are basically free, so it's just basically something to send with the Magog pitch mothers. But otherwise, you don't really have a lot of stealthy leaders. 20 of them will take out 10 PD and maybe even light thugs due to their speed potential, disrupting buff cycle. Not a big fan of them in big battles due to undisciplined and speed. They're likely to die before the rest of your armies arrive. Yeah, that's true. They also have low MR, which is a problem in big battles, but the blue lions, they come in 4 colors. The blue lions actually are not undisciplined, so you can actually put them in lines and script them, which is kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
2, there's a reason for forest, is crossbows. A squad of just 40 of these behind a wall of sacred shields will do a lot against many foes. And crossbows also, urination, which is going to have good fire access within, so you can do flaming arrows.
Right.
And then also shrink the giants, which is going to help. Centaur chariots. Trample is a powerful weapon due to damage, but also displacement. Allows quick units to overwhelm slower units. Great with lions or cavalry. Idea is to break the flank and get into the back line. That's an interesting idea. Army of giants. I haven't really made these. I'll have to think about the Centaur chariots. And then 4 is Satyr Slave. Super cheap, actually decent stats, useful for patrolling and battle that can hold a flank with some buffs. Okay, I've not really made the Satyr Slaves either.
Wow. But I'm not at all familiar with this nation, so I'm kind of deferring to you on much of this. I opened it up briefly on Mod Inspector, and it has just a tremendous amount of options of what you can do. So many different forest recruits and
the forest and the highlands and caves are the provinces you really want, and caves more than anything. If you don't get, like my start, I didn't have any highlands or any caves near me, it can be really debilitating.
Right.
But
so a pretty complicated nation in that there's a lot of tools in your toolbox.
Right. And you don't necessarily know which tools you're gonna get access to.
Right.
But it does look... Okay, does he have a fort going up here? Well, he's got this one on the throne.
Right.
But I don't see any other forest forts going up quite yet. But
and he already has some bitch mothers.
And in terms of temples, he's got 1, 2... He's only got 2 unforted temples, which you can use to get those holy 3s.
Right.
But otherwise, not really that many. Cap is making dudes... Yeah. I feel like Ind is a nation that also kind of needs to be aggressive, and I'm not sure who his next target should be. But he's looking like he's happy chilling.
Well, if he knows the shenanigans going on over far to his west, Ctis is kind of not prepared for a backstab.
Yeah. But End would not really want to fight him to Wrathful Skies or Wailing Winds right now, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, they have a bunch of Astral Mages, so they could potentially Soul Slay the god, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Titans are just really hard to deal with this early in the game if they're well set up. Like if there was a good player and they had a Titan, unless I had like some cheeky play, like I really understood well how I would kill it in all the different circumstances it would get used, I would probably try to avoid fighting that player until like at least turn 30 or something.
Yeah, I can see what you're getting at, but then, I think you're one of the first people I had ever seen really talked about the idea of dormant titans as a keep people off your back concept, a rushed events idea.
Yeah, there's a few titans out. I mean, we've seen the Ulm's Titan running around, who I guess probably joined forces. Oh no, that didn't. Where did their Titan go?
Back home. Grab some more gear.
Okay, it went to this fort.
Okay. So it flew there in one turn, so the flying boots, but it was fully geared. So I'm not sure what better he could do.
Well, I think it needs different gear. I think it needs MR because
maybe now it's to bring it in as a combat caster.
Yeah. Well, if it's going to participate at all in Bandar, it's going to have a big MR Malice from these candles. And the MR Malice in conjunction with the HP Malice means it would be very easily targeted by something like Mind Burn and killed.
Right. So, yeah, would it really add to those forces?
Yeah.
Whereas he could just bring up a whole bunch of his regular Magi.
Right.
And he already had a good chunk of them in there.
So, okay, where were we? We were on End. Not too much is happening.
I think that was the last of the messages.
Right. Agartha, nothing happening. Pangaea, they had just taken this throne, and they're moving an army over this way. That's very interesting, to go from here to here. I wonder, they're either going on Ulm or they're going on Jotunheim.
But he just pinged that other throne. Pangaea just pinged that throne with a
heartbeat. Oh, that's where they're going.
Get greedy on thrones.
That's 100% where they're going. Yeah. I mean, if they get all cardinal, like all 4 thrones, that'll be beautiful for them. I think that's a great play by Pangaea.
Yeah, then he could just lock down and watch for the...
Yeah, and if he gets them forted, taking Pangaean thrones filled with dryads is like the worst thing ever.
Plus a pan or two to just constantly keep wall holders.
Yeah, and it looks like this is set up for blood hunting now too. So he's got 2 blood hunting provinces going at least. Got attacked here.
Oh, the Fire Lord. He's a bit of a pain.
I don't actually remember this, Indy.
I've had to deal with him. Well, he hasn't got any fire gems.
Yeah.
And he hasn't got any archers. If he had fire gems and archers, that would be extra unpleasant.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think Pan will have any trouble taking this out, but that's probably annoying for them.
No, but he actually lost a mage there.
Yeah.
That was a PD mage.
Right.
Kind of hurt.
Yeah, minus 120 gold.
It's not huge.
Right.
Preferably you don't lose Magi to Barbarian attacks and other kind of crap, but
right.
Shit happens.
Yeah, if you're tryharding, you script them to retreat if they're outside searching. Okay, so that's Pangaea. Pelagia, still ever silent and quiet. Though this must change. I don't know when it will change, but I'm guessing, and I really hope he sends us some messages. But I'm really thinking it's going to be, he has some research, and once he has it, he feels comfortable. But I don't think for his research. Oh, no. Pelagia is number 3 in research. Okay. Interesting. Uruk,
number 3 in research.
Yeah.
Can we just back up there? What do you think he might be trying for with his research? Do you think he's going for Maelstrom?
No.
Or Globals?
I mean, I think I don't think you can win a game like that with Pelagia. I think you have to get.
But look at his site density. He's got, it looks like on average, 2 sites per province.
Yeah, he's got good gym income.
That's pretty nice and broad.
He's got good gym. I mean, he's got good gym income. He's got good research, but he's going to be running into major upkeep issues soon. I think he has to have a way to get on land. Like more, you can't. It doesn't matter what your research priorities are. Like you're going to control this or that global. I don't think you can be relevant as this small of a player very easily.
I agree with you, and I've really questioned what his play is. Now he's got that extra fort on land, and he's templed and he's labbed it, and he'll be pumping stuff out. So where's he going to move from that? I mean, that's a beachhead.
Yeah.
So where do you go from that?
Well, I mean, I think there's where he goes, and I think there's also the question of what he does. He's got these mermages who are amphibious. They're not very good. He's got the the mystics who are amphibious. These are better because they're pretty likely to get 2 in one of these. So,
well, and if he's got the gems, he could fish amulet.
Right. And it could be this is like elemental spam. This could also be Strength of Giants, Legions of Steel. He could also maybe do some Foul Vapors type play. I kind of think he's going to do elemental spam or maybe try to thug out Triton Kings.
Well,
I don't know.
I'm not really fond of thugging something like that. Yeah, I would be more likely to muck about maybe fish amulets on his knights. The unicorn knights.
Oh, yeah.
Well, fish amulet's not that expensive. And I think he's got enough earth magic to be doing hammers. They're awfully expensive, though. 200 gold with no magic. Boy, maybe not. I don't know. But he could moss body them. He could body.
I mean, fish amulets are 10 gems, too. They're not cheap.
Yeah, I know. No, they're not cheap at all. But if you were going to thug, I'm just not very fond of those, the Triton Kings. I'm not a big fan of, like, high water does not help you thugging. The cross paths are good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not great, but they could definitely. I mean, you could with the right gear, this guy could stack wipe. So.
But they're 45 hit points, so that's not amazing. You can enlarge though.
Yeah, they can enlarge. They can do personal regen.
Do they have
mist
feet?
form. They don't have feet, but.
That's awkward.
I mean, and one of these spots is going to have to be a fish amulet, but I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
The thing is I think whichever. It's almost weird. I feel like for him to go on land, the nation he attacks needs to die, but he probably can't be the one to kill them. So I feel like he's very reliant on Diplo. Like, like if he got Ulm to attack Ctis and he gets like this bottom 6 provinces of Ctis, and that's his stuff, right? And then, or somebody to attack, like, I mean, there's already a Jotunheim coalition, so people attack Jotunheim. What he really needs is somebody in the south to attack Jotunheim, and then he could come in and take this and maybe even get Jotun's capital and let Xibalba take some of this. Or, somebody. But I feel like he's not strong enough to fully kill, like, 1v1 a player right now. But he needs to go get on land, and he needs to not fight them for forever. Just this coastal raiding, I don't think is great for him. Because, sure, you get the income from a province, but occasionally you get your raiders killed. And that's probably going to cost you more than you gain from having the province for a turn. So
I think for me, I'm just finding that Pelagia's play is very opaque to me.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing. I don't think there's any other nation in the game where I haven't been able to follow what their strategy appears to be. Pelagia's, I'm not following what he's going for. The only other tidbit is we did see him ping that throne, the one between him and Pan and Jotun.
Yeah.
So this army that you're hovering over right now moves south, I believe. So it's headed in that direction wave warriors.
Yeah.
But
the one thing I think is he's respecting the other players. Like he's not going to attack somebody when he doesn't feel confident it's going to work. That's the only thing that is not opaque to me.
I mean, a play with the Pearl or the his big kings would be huge amounts of water elementals and just continuously to spam them.
Yeah, I think elementals are his best bet to secure a place on land right now.
Elemental thugging makes more sense to me with his magi than gear thugging.
Yeah.
Combat thugging.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so that's Pelagia, that's Ctis, that's Pangaea we've talked about. Jotunheim we've talked about. Xibalba still sitting on top of the capital.
Still not cracked.
Still chilling on this throne. Looks like he sight searched it.
And he's forting it.
Oh, and he's forting it.
Fort going up there.
Has it been claimed yet? I don't know.
I saw 3 claims in the messages.
Yeah.
4.
Okay, the Earth Throne. That's the Pangaea Throne. The Outer Throne. I think that's the Outer Throne. Oh no, this is the Iron Throne. Yeah, so this one hasn't been claimed yet. Looks like he sight searched with his god.
Iron Throne, that's Iron Adepts, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice for anybody.
Yeah, I think that... I can't remember which one that was. I think that was the End Throne. Or maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I guess we've been through all the nations now.
Well, it's been a fairly quiet turn. You want to just look at the messages quickly? Is there any significant battles we didn't sort of look at? No.
I don't think so. I think we've seen everything here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a pretty quick turn.
Pretty quick turn.
And we don't know much more about new diplomatic situations.
Nope. Yep. So I think it's a little bit of a respite right now before the next big wave of aggression. So
that fits sort of with what I commented on at the very beginning of the episode. Is many of the nations, with the exception particularly of Jotun, are they have a pause before the storm.
Right.
I think I mixed that metaphor up badly. It's the calm before the storm.
The calm before the storm. Yeah.
Not the pause before the storm.
Right. Yeah. Or it's like we're in the eye of the storm, and we've been through the first wave and the second wave.
The backside's about to come crashing over top of us.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, Maryland.
All right. You are welcome.
And thank you all for watching. See you next time. Bye.
Have a good one.